Hey Australia. Today on Channel 21 News, we will be discussing the Chinese Communist Party. What are they up to and what is happening in this pandemic? We'll be discussing this in detail here today on Channel 21 News. Today, my co-anchor on Channel 21 News is that guy. Recently, there's been a lot of attention on China. People are pointing fingers and are looking for someone to blame. But who is at fault? The Chinese people are proud and hold true to their traditions, although culture is extremely important. Some of the culture behind China is threatening to the world. The CCP, Chinese Communist Party, has halted cultural progression within China. Here in Australia, we have a lot of culture. I couldn't be more proud to call myself an Australian. But the matter of the fact is, Australia just hasn't always been that good. The stolen generation and racism was always there. But through brave acts of the oppressed, society changed and Australia as a country changed for the better. Here at Channel 21, we couldn't be more disappointed in Australia and the rest of the world by some of the things that have happened in the past. China, the coronavirus, the Hong Kong protests, oppression and murder. This is all happening right now in China and it is okay according to the Chinese Communist Party. In December of 2019, Australia was on fire and it was the talking point of the world media. But while the media was focused on this, in the northern parts of China, a new virus was just emerging. The northern parts of China, they have these things called wet markers that the CCP won't get rid of because it's their culture. These wet markets have been home to some of the worst things that have happened in the northern parts of China. The wet markets are like any market you'd see here in Australia, except instead of selling stuff like cards and fruit and veg, they sell dirtily harvested animals that have just been hung up in unsanitary conditions, and even some are kept alive in cages. This is not okay. I've just been informed here at Channel 21 that we must be culturally appropriate. To demonstrate how we respect the Chinese people, we'll be trying some of their cultural cuisine. This is some of the dishes you can expect to see at a Chinese wet market. In these wet markets, animals are kept alive in inhumane conditions, the absolute worst. And even in some cases, they are skinned alive in front of people for maybe their entertainment or even just for purposes, but they are skinned alive, which is extremely cruel. The Black Death / the bubonic plague, SARS, the H2N2 virus, the H7N7 influenza virus, and COVID-19 all came out of China. Now I'm smelling a little bit of a pattern here. The disgusting environments and consumption of raw food has turned these wet markets into a breeding place of death. It is wrong that the CCP allows these wet markets to keep existing. Yet at the same time, the Hong Kong protesters are peacefully asking for their right to human rights, but the CCP continuously denies it. The Hong Kong protesters are simply just asking for the right to be human, yet the CCP, through police brutality, continuously slaughters them. The CCP has owned up to just 2 of the hundreds of deaths from these protests. If you speak out against the CCP, you will disappear. The Chinese Communist Party thinks that progression is bad. In China, people are like products. You are replaceable. The CCP demands robotic-like perfection, or you will be dismantled like a robot. Ching Chong Bing Bong. Human violation is Wong. The CCP doesn't care about you or the world. They allowed the COVID-19 pandemic to start through their disgusting encouragement to keep wet markets as part of their culture. And by knowing this and not doing anything to change it, they have allowed the backwards savages that are too busy rolling around in their own filth to give a single thought about anyone to continue doing whatever they want. Not only does the CCP support an environment perfect for creating deadly viruses. When the coronavirus started, the CCP hid it from their own people in the world. They also allowed people from the region where it started to travel throughout China and the world during China's largest holiday for the entire year, which allowed the coronavirus to rapidly spread throughout China and then to the rest of the world. Not only did they do that, but they also bribed the World Health Organization at the start of the pandemic to keep it under wraps. Lol, that is just the start to the CCP's shenanigans. Man, I hope you don't love God or Allah or something, because the CCP will just make you disappear. The CCP doesn't like free speech. They control all Chinese media, and even some media in other places around the world. You are not allowed to have any opinions on politics or authority figures in China, or you will disappear. If you live in China, I hope you think everything's perfect, because your government thinks protesting is wrong. You have an opinion we don't like, we'll get rid of you. Oh, the Hong Kong protesters keep protesting despite all the things we're doing to them because they care about their rights or something stupid like that. Don't worry, we'll just exterminate them. That's all that's happened across the world and in China. I've been your host from Channel 21 News, Some Guy, and my co-anchor was That Guy. That'll be all for today. Oh, sir. This is TV legend Ron Burgundy. I support everything that was in this message tonight, and if you disagree, you are stupid and